Welcome to the Y Connect podcast. As the heartbeat of the community, the Y is a connector where people of all ages and walks of life come together to elevate their health, wellness, education, and essential life skills. Hear the stories of impact and join the authentic conversations where together we'll discover the journeys and pathways people take to connect through the Y. Now your hosts, Zarinah, Robert, and Allison.
Hello, Zarinah.
Hi, Allison. Oh, we're missing someone.
We are. We're missing our compadre, Robert. He is under the weather today, so we wish him well. By the time this podcast comes out, I'm imagining he will be well.
Absolutely. And we're going to represent him well in his absence.
We are. It's good to see you, though.
Thank you. It's great to see you as well. Well, we're going to go ahead and get it kicked off. Today, we're filming episode 30, Building Character, Wings for Kids Soar with the Y. I'll be introducing the episode. And guess what? I couldn't be more excited to delve into a topic that touches the very essence of youth development. In today's episode, we're going to explore the incredible connections between Wings for Kids and the YMCA. Wings for Kids has been partnering with the YMCA of Metro Atlanta for the last 2 years to develop social emotional learning skills for the children we serve. Joining us from Wings for Kids is Nicole Lovecchio, who serves as the Chief Social Emotional Learning Officer at Wings for Kids, an all-female-led nonprofit dedicated to equipping children from under-resourced communities with the social emotional skills they need to succeed in school, to stay in school, and thrive in life. For 21 years, Nicole has helped transform a single after-school program into a national organization with multiple direct service sites across the Southeast and partnerships from coast to coast. What's more impressive? She's accomplished this with heart, grit, and loyal following of employees, coworkers, and students of all ages. Joining Nicole today is the Y's Quality Youth Program Director, Mary Moua. Mary is a seasoned professional with over 12 years of impactful experiences in youth programming. Prior to coming to the Y, Mary orchestrated magic at the Boys and Girls Club of Metro Atlanta. In her role with the Y, she provides leadership and support across after-school, day camp, middle, and teen programs to support the strategic development and execution of quality programming and assessments for all Y youth programs within the association. Welcome, ladies, to Y Connect.
Hi, thank you so much for having us.
We are thrilled to have you both here, and we're excited about talking about social emotional learning. And so we're just going to kick right off, and I'm going to ask you the first question, Nicole. So, we can't assume that everyone understands what social emotional learning is. Could you start by explaining what it is and why it is so important for youth development?
Definitely. And you hit on a good point. Social emotional learning is so much and can mean so many different things to different people. If you look at the definition of social emotional learning, it's so complex. It's like a page long. It encompasses so much. And we at Wings try to very much simplify that. And SEL really is teaching kids and adults to manage emotions, set and achieve goals, overcome obstacles, and develop healthy relationships. So these are all the skills that are necessary to succeed in school and to thrive in life, be prepared for the workforce. So really skills that are necessary for people to feel successful.
That makes sense. And I really like how you simplify that because it has become such an important topic for youth. Could you address why it is so important specifically from your perspective for our young people?
Definitely. So I always think about the basic concepts within SEL. So things like managing emotions and making good decisions and achieving goals, and think about where our world and our country might be if every adult knew how to do those things. And, when you're looking at kids, they are primed to have a mindset that they can grow these skills, that they can develop these skills. And every single person has potential to grow these skills within themselves to be successful. SEL is challenging because it's not like reading. It's not like you can get 100% or you can score an A. Your social emotional skills are impacted by the things that are happening all around you. And I might really be able to manage my emotions at 10 a.m., but by 6 p.m., I'm not that great at managing my emotions. So SEL is a process. And at Wings, we really focus on having people understand that process, be able to learn from the things that they are doing well, the things that are challenging, and having kids be able to admit mistakes, identify their own strengths and weaknesses. Having kids be able to do that at a young age is going to set them up for success middle school, high school, later on in life, both professionally and personally.
Wow. Thank you, Nicole, for explaining SEL for us. My question is for Mary. Are you ready, Mary?
Yes.
So, Mary, how did the partnership between Wings for Kids and the YMCA of Metro Atlanta come about? And what is the main goal of our program collaboration?
Yes. Over 2 years ago, our organization set some ambitious strategic goals as it relates to youth achievement. As a result, we reimagined youth programming and embraced a deliberate focus on cultivating essential life skills, exposing youth to diverse career opportunity, and fostering social emotional learning. As it relates to SEO, we drew a line in the sand and made the commitment to our Y staff supporting SEO and youth through authentic engagement. That how we're going to do this is we needed someone who was a subject matter expert with hands-on experience. Someone who knows after school, knows youth development, understand what it takes to do this work with being intentional and consistent. And that's where our after-school onboarding, that's where our after-school partnership with Wings came in. Wings lead training for after-school onboarding. They train our director with the YDD and after-school cabinet that meets monthly. We also provide direct service support during our summer by providing social emotional learning behavior specialists.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.
Right. Thank you.
On the heels of that, Nicole, could you get specific around which skills and competencies we've been emphasizing at the Y and how they're integrated into our youth programs and activities?
Definitely. So with our definition of SEL that we have taken from Castle, we focus on 5 core competencies: self-awareness, self-management, responsible decision-making, social awareness, and relationship skills. And we take those competencies, we've put them in a kid-friendly, easy to understand pledge called the Words to Live By. And we have, from the beginning of our work with the Y, worked with staff on how to take that language around those very complex skills and make that digestible for the staff and students. So we do a lot around like in the moment things. So Wings is less about a booklet of information or here's 10 activities. We really believe that SEL does not happen on Wednesdays from 3 to 4. Or for 10 minutes every morning. SEL is happening in everything that we do. It's all of our relationships. SEL is really human behavior. So we have focused on getting Y staff to understand that this is not another what that you have to do. SEL is the how you're doing what you're already doing. And I think that was a mindset shift for many of the staff. But once they got there, they're like, wait a second. I can bring SEL into anything that I'm doing with kids and anything that I'm doing with my staff. And having that Words to Live By, those lessons that go around those 5 core competencies was a very easy way for everyone to understand that.
That makes complete sense. And I love how tangible you made that. It's not so daunting to hear that it's in a book and we're going to open page 5 and read about SEL. It's about living and being with people.
Right. And I feel like in youth development, it is a lot of curriculums. Even our own organizations, we're rolling out this new curriculum. We're trying this new curriculum. And it feels very overwhelming to staff. Be like, oh, one more thing on my plate, one more thing on my plate. And we have really tried to help youth development leaders realize the plate is SEL. The plate that's holding all of your things is the way that you're interacting with kids, the way that you're interacting with peers, and the way that you're interacting with staff, how you're managing your own emotions, how you're admitting mistakes, how you're supporting each other, how you're listening to each other. And that's not a curriculum. That's just, again, human behavior.
Wow.
Thank you, Nicole.
Wow. So, Nicole, to help our listeners understand how social emotional learning works, would you mind taking us through a mini exercise to bring it to life?
Sure. I mean, I just spent all the time talking about it. It's so simple. It can be in anything, and it can. And that becomes so frustrating to some people. I'm like, you could take a pencil and a balled up piece of paper and make an SEL activity. And the reason why I say that is because SEL is about understanding your emotions. So recognizing, labeling, being able to express your emotions. There are many people, I don't even just say kids, but many people who you ask them how they're feeling, you're going to get the standard 3 or 4 responses, either good or okay, which are not even emotions, or things like mad, angry, sad, happy. And what SEL does is there's more to that, right? All of these emotions, they're deeper. You're just not happy, right? You're just not mad. So helping kids understand that when they might be upset about something or mad, they might be angry, they might be frustrated, they might be feeling lonely, they might be embarrassed. So helping people dive deeper into those emotions. All of that to say, any game that you do with kids, a sports game, a board game, any type of academic activity, there are emotions. You can guarantee that, right? So a way that you could bring SEL into whatever you were already doing is throughout the activity or after the activity, having some sort of conversation around what were some emotions you felt during that activity. When you're dealing with kids who are not versed in SEL, you're going to get the shoulder shrugs. You're going to get the, I don't like this game. And really, as a trained leader in SEL, you would dig deeper into that. Okay, well, you say you don't care about, why don't you care about this game? What did it make you feel inside? And the goal is to get that child to say frustrated. I'm sure we can all think of adults that we work with that have those adult little temper tantrums. And if we really dug down to it, it's that they're frustrated about something. So being able to vocalize that helps so much more in the long run. So that's how we try to bring SEL to life. It's not necessarily, okay, we're going to play I Spy or we're going to play soccer. It's that we're talking about these things in the moment as we're doing it. Things like emotions, things about relationships. How did you support someone else during this activity? What was a mistake you made in this activity? What is something you did really well? So things like that around conversation prompts to have more conversations around these skill sets, just to get people comfortable talking about SEL.
Yeah, thank you for those detailed examples.
Definitely. Now, Mary, as we look back on the last 2 years since we've started infusing SEL, social emotional learning, into our youth programming at the Y, can you share any success stories that demonstrate the positive impact it's having?
And I can speak a little bit to that if you're okay with that, or you want to wait?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Thank you.
So we have spent, SEL is for kids, and our organization is called Wings for Kids. But a lot of what we do focuses on the adults and getting staff to start thinking about these skills. I think very, historically, it's like kids should do what adults say. That's how it should be, right? Like, do what I say and behave. And, we have people that come to us and they say, we want SEL. We just want all the kids to listen. And I'm always like, that's not SEL. And that was not our relationship with the Y. The Y was very open to, we need to set the foundation with the adults. We need to get them to understand these life skills, to start modeling these life skills. So when I look at the work over the past 2 years with the Y, we've had some staff members that are now able to coach their staff in a way that is conducive to social emotional skill building. So instead of just coming up and saying, you're not doing this right, we need to change this, we need to adapt that, there's more conversations around people's emotions. There's more conversations around ways that teams can support each other. A lot of the staff is looking for, how do we bring SEL into our staff meetings? They're finding that adults need these skills just as much as kids. And as adults begin to practice these skills, that's trickling down to kids. SEL is taught just in how we act. I am a parent. I have 3-year-old twins and a 6-year-old. And I am not always the best teacher of SEL because I don't manage my emotions well all the time with them. I'm not always super supportive when I'm having a bad day. So as adults, we're the teachers of SEL, and we are showing kids and staff different SEL behaviors. And so with the Y, having the staff bought into what we are teaching and working to model those skills for staff and students, I think has been our biggest success so far, that they can speak to these skill sets and just begin to model them in their programs.
Wow. I love it.
I do too. And I love the fact that what we're doing to benefit youth sounds like it's benefiting everyone, families included, modeling this behavior and coming home and talking about it with mom and dad. And then that, I imagine, has moms and dads sort of reflecting, or caregivers, how am I reacting in moments? How can I express my emotions in a productive and meaningful way?
Definitely. And I think the biggest thing with parents bringing SEL to students, it's that idea that you can not be perfect and that you can apologize to kids and you can make mistakes, because that's a big part of it. Being able to take personal accountability for something. So when I do lose control as a parent, if I am able to say, I made a bad choice, I should not have done that, and not place blame on the child, that is teaching them SEL. And it's hard for adults to do that. It's hard to say to a kid or another staff member, I messed up, right? We want to get away from the making of the excuses and, well, I did that because you did this. So getting away from that and just having everyone become more comfortable practicing these skills with each other is definitely going to help, like I mentioned, in your personal life, in your professional life. I still have so much to learn and so many areas to grow in, but my SEL, just focusing on this for my work for over 20 years, is so much better now. I'm a much better parent now than I would have been if I had kids 15 years ago. And I'm a much better friend, a better partner, a better manager, just because of SEL. And I think that that is being seen at the Y as well. The leaders that are taking these skill sets and working to build them into their programs, whether they know it or not, are personally benefiting themselves. And we spend a lot of time on that personal growth part.
Wow. Nicole, that leads us to the next question. So in what ways do parents and families get involved in the SEL journey of their children, and what resources are available to support them in promoting SEL at home?
I think I might have mentioned this, but parents are like the number one teachers of SEL. And what we've done with the Y is we provide monthly newsletter tips on simple ways that parents can bring that words to live by into their home. We also have, different activities that we've done with parents, but I have found that the most productive way is for parents to be modeling these skills for kids and not having different expectations for themselves than they do for the kids that they're raising. And I always say when I'm working with parents or even working with staff, it's like, what you're doing right now, is that going to benefit them later on? Is that going to give them skill sets they need to be successful in life? If you just want a kid to obey you and do what you say, do you want them to be an employee that just obeys everything that they're told to do? Or do you want them to stand up for what's right for their company or what's right for them personally? So really stepping back and thinking about how these skills impact people long term, I think is really helpful for parents.
So I want to ask you a two-pronged question so we can hear from you about the question I asked earlier around success stories at the Y, some specific success stories. And then secondly, in terms of the future, what aspirations do we have at the Y around SEL and our initiatives? So two-parter for you.
Thank you. to what Nicole was mentioning, one of our major wins include our branches embracing and even memorizing words to live by. Our words to live by put our SEL core competency into a language that our kids and staff can truly understand and embrace for themselves. But in addition to that, thanks to Wing, our after school and summer youth have SEL conversation prompts and activities that are designed to build SEL skills. Beyond that, everyone across our after school programs, we focus on a different SEL core competency. And there are like resources that are equipping, our staff with the tools they need to engage and to support our youth. And then one of our greatest aspiration would be for our staff to feel comfortable and especially when it comes to social emotional learning. Right now, our Y staff are starting to embrace SEL language by learning the language, recognizing our youth for displaying positive behaviors, creating safe space for youth and teens to build strong relationship with one another. We want SEL to be built into the fabric of what we do day in, day out, whether it's summertime or after school.
That makes complete sense. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you so much. Now, ladies, we are at the end of our episode, and it's been a great episode. And as we wind down each episode of Y Connect, we like to end with a conversation asking you about your pathway to the Y story. In other words, how did you first get connected to the YMCA? Let's see.
Want me to go first? I feel like great. I've been like talking so much. Okay. So I have done some work with some Ys throughout my years with Wings and, doing most of the work focused on helping Y staff manage behavior through an SEL lens. That seems to be a hot topic in youth development, right? Is that behavior management piece. But the most work that I've done with the Y has been with the Metro Atlanta Y. And when the Y got the grant that would help us specifically focus on SEL, reached out to Wings as experts in the field. I was connected probably by, the second meeting. I don't like to handle any of the money and logistics. I like the people. I like the teaching. So once I was brought in, I knew right away that this was going to be a right fit partner because there was an understanding of this is a collaboration that we're able to work together. And I saw right away that they wanted to build a foundation of SEL in their organization. It wasn't something that they were looking for something else for their staff to do or something else for their kids to do. There was the buy-in right from the start that SEL can help our organization and we are willing to jump on board and do what we can to make that happen. And that made me completely invested from the start because that is not what we get from all of our partners. And it was a relief and it feels very natural in how we've progressed in this work that we all have the common understanding that we know SEL is important and it's not just for kids, it's for everyone that is involved.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. I got to say, before we hear from Mary, let me speak on behalf of the Y. We love Wings.
Yes.
You guys are the most amazing partner on the planet. Just a little background. We invited Nicole to speak at our all-staff conference last year and did a whole session with us. It was so interactive, and it was one of the highest rated in the survey from everybody, like what they enjoyed most. People really, really got into the workshop that you led. So thank you for the commitment because it is so appreciated. And at the Y, we know we love to partner. We can't be experts in everything. And we have to bring, as Mary said, those practice experts in like you guys. So thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. And we enjoy stuff like that too, because a lot of times people don't really even know what SEL is. I think we talked about that at the beginning. And when you can get in there and do a lot of hands-on things and have people like begin to understand, you see those light bulbs going off of like, oh, I can apply this in my life. It's not this like obscure thing. And, like I said, the Metro Atlanta Y has been a tremendous partner because they believe in what we're teaching. And that's visible in the meetings that we have, in the conversations that we have, and in the work that we do. So it makes it easy to work together because we're all working towards the same goal.
Very cool. How about you, Mary? Tell us your Y Connection story.
My Y Connection story. I've always been really passionate about youth development, especially the process of youth development, of from the time of youth to by the time they leave in an organization and into adulthood, and having passion in that because myself, I didn't have the Y. I didn't have any after school. I didn't have any of that youth development, but I was raised by my grandparents. So it was a great thing, but I wish I had a larger village. And with part of that, youth development has just always been my passion, but the way I discovered the Y was just through family and friends speaking about the Y that have been to, and really hearing things that I believe in, I'm working towards, that the Y's strongly have and promote. That led me to the Y, where I'm like, hey, this is an organization I feel like not only is it going to help me personally to achieve this goal, but it's also going to help me professionally in the work that I already love doing, which is youth development.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic.
Yes. Thank you guys so much for sharing today. And our listeners, I'm sure, have a better understanding of SEL now.
Yeah, I want to ask everybody before we leave, I'm putting you on the spot. In true SEL fashion, how are you feeling now at the end of the podcast episode? Describe your feelings.
Allison, that could be opening a can of worms here.
Be careful what you ask for.
I would say relief. I'm very hard on myself. I'm a very big critic. So, when I make a mistake, I'm like sitting here replaying it. Like, I know that. Why didn't I say that? Or things I should say differently. So maybe a tiny bit of regret, not doing it, but things that I could have said or said differently, but relief. And then honestly, excitement. This partnership does make me happy. Again, because everybody's willing to do the work and wants to see positive change, and is so kind and open. So excitement, teeny tiny bit of regret, and relief.
Oh, no regrets.
No
Let me
regrets.
just say that. None.
I'm not one of those people. I live life with a whole lot of regrets. I wish I was not that way, but I am.
Simon Sinek has a whole thing about that. So you need to look into his latest teachings around regret.
I will do that.
Very teachable.
Yeah.
Mary, how are you feeling?
You know what? I feel like, Nicole, life is a learning process. So there's no regrets because you did perfectly in the space you were in. For me, I feel like hip hip hooray. It feels like a Friday.
Yes.
Zarinah?
Yeah, that was me. I feel joyful. I'm excited about this episode, and I've learned more about SEL, and I look forward to our listeners hearing this episode.
You're already an expert. You lead at Early Learning Center. You might have learned something today, but I think you had a lot of knowledge prior to this episode. So
Absolutely.
put
But
that
thank
out
you,
there.
ladies.
Yeah. And I am also joyful and very grateful that you came on our show today. So thank you all so much. We appreciate you.
Well, thank you so much for having us. Anytime.
Yes. You ladies take care.
All right. Have a great weekend.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to the Y Podcast. To continue the conversation or to find your closest Y, please connect with us at YMCAAtlanta.org and sign up for our newsletter, Healthy Together.